This is Sony 365. I'm Tom. I'm not in the studio today with Bob the Bonsai. This is the first ever Weird Sony, episode 1, Weird Sony, and it's all about the WENA 3, which is the weirdest Sony product I think I've ever owned. Now, the videos that I was doing in the studio, that was back in Panama City, in Panama. We had a view actually over the Pacific Ocean. This time I'm right here by the Atlantic Ocean. I'm in beautiful Miami, amazing. And I'm being filmed, by the way, by my good friend Igor Araujo. Check out this link. Actually, there's a link in the video description below. His company, video production, creative video projects, give him a shout. He is the guy. So if you're an Apple fan, you've got your watch sorted. Samsung, OnePlus, everyone's getting in on it, and it has been for a long, long time. Sony got out of it 7 years ago. So what do you do if you're a Sony fan? Well, you just get one of these. But here's where things start to get a little bit weird. They're only available in Japan. They're not easy to get hold of. Everything's in Japanese. It's a nightmare to put together. I mean, look, when I got this, I've got to show you something. I have this with me. Check this out. So you're seeing all this together and thinking, well, that looks pretty easy. You just get it out of the box, you put it on. It does not work like that. What happens is you get the box open and check out all of this. For a start, the rubber strap, you have to get scissors and cut it to the length you want. Then you have to use a little piece of metal and some little pins to get it all assembled and put together. And only then do you have your smartwatch. But check out these instructions, they're fantastic. You see, I think it's fair to say you have to be an extreme Sony fan, to want to go down this route. It's pretty weird. Less weird if you're in Japan and you speak Japanese, but building your own smartwatch is just something, I'm just not the kind of guy who builds stuff. I like to just put it on. And I think, there's loads of stuff here. I think it's fair to say this is weird enough to kick off Weird Sony with. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And also, I want to know if you would wear a smart strap instead of a smartwatch, and what would you consider paying for something like this, and what would you like to see Sony do in the future? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, let's crack on. So it's really easy if you're an Apple fan, you've got your watch. If you're a Samsung fan, a OnePlus fan. But what do you do if you're a Sony fan and you want to get yourself a smartwatch? Well, I'm going to tell you in this video how to do it. I'm going to tell you what this does, how it works, and I'm also going to tell you whether you should get it, if it's a really good idea, or will it be one of these products that you just should avoid at all costs. I'll be very brutally honest about that, as always. If you're not already subbed, make sure you are, because we've got the XM4 video next. Really excited about that. Lucky enough to have those here. And let's get into it. So our friend in China, Zach Bucks. Oh, by the way, I'm going to also do a message about China at the end as well, because in my last video, some people got a bit upset and they were worried about what my whole deal was there with China. Let's cover that at the end of the video too. Zach Bucks has said a little earlier this year that Sony is working on, and there is going to be this year, it's possibly, because these are just leaks and rumors of course, a new Sony smartwatch. The last one was way back in 2014, the Smartwatch 3, right? Will there be a Smartwatch 4? Possibly, but apparently it's going to be it's a collaboration between WENA, which actually stands for Wear Electronics Naturally, and Xperia. Now, of course, with WENA, this is not a smartwatch, it's a smart strap. The idea is you can either just have it like this, without any watch here at all, or you can get a nice strap like a leather one or a metal one and put your Rolex. I left my Rolex at home. Or you can put your Rolex here, and then, then you're really laughing because you've got a beautiful watch and all the smart tech here. That's the theory anyway. So what I want to do with this video is, this is a Japan only model, but I want to tell you what it's like living with a WENA smartwatch, what I think about the concept, and if there is going to be an Xperia branded smart strap, smart watch kind of product, should we be excited? That's what we're going to find out now. First of all, let's look at the specs for this thing and how it stacks up. So this is an improved version, the WENA 3, on what came before it, and it's improved actually quite substantially. The screen is way, way bigger. There's a lot more going on, heart rate monitoring, blood sugar levels, that sort of thing. It's easier to read the display and to get that information quickly. And I have to say, it looks very, very cool, actually, very stylish. Having said that, when I unboxed this and put it on my wrist and started using it, my girlfriend said to me, "What is that?" And I said, "It's the Sony smartwatch, you know, I mean smart strap." And she said, "A smart strap?" And I said, "Yes." Basically what happened is Sony had a competition for all of its employees to come up with a new idea for a Sony product. And then whoever won, they would make that product. And this won. And her comment, her response was, "Wow, can you imagine what the other ideas were like?" I admit, this is a bit weird. And it's been quite weird living with the device, I have to say. But those specs, Suica here, that's your contactless payment thing, and it works a treat when you're traveling in the underground there in Tokyo. It doesn't work here or anywhere else, as far as I know. You've got your messages here, the time here. If you swipe down from the top, you've got the payment setup, weather, alarm timer. Now this doesn't use Google Assistant, which is a bit of a bummer. I was surprised to see Alexa in there. I can't use that system because that's also the name of my girlfriend and would be constantly triggering all the devices. I think that was a kind of a naff move, naming it Alexa. Anyway, find and then the settings. Now what I love about this, because it's a Japanese only model, is all the text is actually in Japanese, apart from the English stuff I showed you just there. And I haven't yet figured out how to put it into English. So what I have to do is hold up my Xperia 1 Mark II using Google Translate, taking the pictures there or videoing it to work out what I'm doing. That is weird, but you can't blame Sony for that. This is only for the Japanese market. You'd have to be an absolute nutter to buy this from Japan and then ship it into the country. A real nutter. But of course there's a lot more. Step counter, heart rate monitor, sleep tracker, the blood sugar there. It also tells you, information about stress levels, recovery times, your body energy overall as a percentage, and calorie information. It's the kind of stuff you would expect from a normal fitness tracker type smartwatch. In terms of the display, think e-ink. It's obviously monochrome. There's none of that colourful stuff to distract you. That's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on, I don't really mind. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. What else? It's water resistant to the extent that you can go swimming with it, and it's unbelievably light, and that I absolutely love. Yeah, it's a very strange concept to me, having all of the smart stuff on the inside. I mean, for the first few days I was using it, I was going the wrong way there and looking up here. But I will say, maybe there is something in this idea. Maybe it isn't too weird, because if you get the option with a Wenna watch head and some of those designs, I've got to say, they are so nice, especially some of those limited edition designs, absolutely stunning. I get the appeal. I like the idea that you've got the traditional element there, the stylish element, and all the smart stuff hidden away down here. It's different and it's pretty cool. So there's a dinky little adapter that plugs into a USB-C cable that you use to then charge the watch, and it's great. I mean, one charge and you're good for at least a week, which I love. And generally speaking, I mean, I think it's a great looking device. I love the haptic engine, it's nice and strong. It looks cool. I mean, this part looks very cool. I went for the cheap rubber option, and when I say cheap, this whole thing costs 26,000 yen, which in your currency is this if you live here, if you live there, it's here, it's that. So overall, it's very, very quirky. It's unusual. I've had a lot of people say, "What is that?" They've never seen anything quite like it with the smart stuff on the inside. This part here looks like I'm on an all-inclusive, or what do they call them, all-inclusive vacation, and I've just kind of got lost and strayed away from my hotel. I love the fact that it's so stealth. It's well built, and I think, as I said before, you would be crazy with a K to actually go ahead and buy this, and here's why. With the app that you need to have really to get the best out of this, of course, it's the Wenna 3 app. That's only available in Japan, and it's only available in Japanese. And so what you have to do is you can go to something like APK Mirror and sideload it and get into all of that, or you can change, in theory, your Google Play settings to make it think you're in Japan, but that's got its own pitfalls. And I'll put a few things in the video description below, things you need to be aware of if you're seriously thinking about getting this thing. The reality is that to buy this right now, to import it from Japan, definitely I don't recommend that. Even like hardcore Sony fans, we're pushing the boundaries there, unless you're in Japan or you speak Japanese. There is something cool about it. Don't buy it, but there's something cool about this. And if now that the WENA division is part of the Xperia division, which it is since April this year, I'm actually pretty excited to see what they come up with, because it's pretty good. You have to be careful about scratching this thing. I've only had this for less than a couple of weeks now, just under a couple of weeks, and it's already scratched up a bit because, of course, when you're writing, typing, that's going to scratch, it's going to catch a little bit there. But I'm not too worried about that. It looks unlike anything else, and I think when this becomes a reality, if it does, for the rest of the world outside of Japan, I think that'll be a good thing. When it's in the Sony ecosystem there with your Xperia phone, yeah, why not? I'd much rather have this than any other smartwatch. I've never really got into the whole smartwatch thing, but this is so minimalist and so understated and so Sony that I like it. It's weird, the whole thing about a smart strap. It's weird, but I like it. Don't buy it. Wait for the English, European, American, version. And I think that could be well worth checking out. I'll give you my full review on that if it becomes a reality. Just so you know, I'm on my way back to the UK. In fact, by the time you see this video, when it's on YouTube, I'll probably be there. There'll be one more video going live on the XM4s, the new ones, from Miami as well. And I always like to give a shout out to people around the world in these videos. This one, let's dedicate it to the people of Venezuela. I can honestly say, out of all the people I've worked with since changing to Sony 365, because I was in Latin America, the Venezuelan people who've helped me put this together, I want a big shout out to those guys, wherever you are all around the world. Now in my last video, the shout out was China, and that was because I was worried that there would be a backlash, because Sony announced the new Xperia 1 Mark III for early summer, and then it wasn't early summer, and it's only out now in China. And it looks like the rest of the world, like where I am and Europe and America and so on, is going to get the 1 Mark III maybe in 3 months' time, or 3 months later than that. And I was worried that there were going to be lots of comments like, China this and China that. And of course, the only people watching from China would be Xperia fans. And I love the idea of welcoming them into the global Xperia community that we have here. And I just like friendliness and open-mindedness and everyone getting on. But it doesn't mean I'm a fan of the regime that runs it, any country for that matter. So yeah, I hope you know where I'm coming from. If I give a shout out to any people anywhere around the world, I'm talking about the people, Xperia fans, wherever you live. Let's enjoy talking about Sony products. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. Big shout out to you guys who do that. I'm just trying to work out if this would be successful in Europe. The previous WENA iterations, they haven't really taken off. Is that a big surprise given that it's kind of flipped around and it's on the inside here? I guess not, but maybe if the pricing was right, and that's not traditionally been a Sony strong point, the pricing can be a bit up there in the dusty end, but what if it was, I don't know, $100, 100 euros, pounds, whatever, maybe 150. Do you think that would work? And would you consider buying something like this if it was available, in your language, properly supported, contactless pay, all that stuff? What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, thanks again for watching, especially those of you who watched to the end. Thank you.